So you want to learn full OLL. Well, I hate to break it to you, but there's about 57 algorithms that stand between you and that. So in this video, I've compiled a few different tips that you can use to efficiently learn those OLL algorithms and potentially do that in under 2 days. So let's get started. Just a quick disclaimer, I'm going to be referencing the Scio the King website for all of the OLL algorithms in this video. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to that website or whatever website you're going to choose to learn your algorithms from, and you're not even going to look at the actual algorithms yet. You're just going to look at the patterns that you see, and you're going to think to yourself, which of these patterns are going to be really easy to recognize, meaning that they're really not that similar to other patterns. A great example of this would be the dot cases. There are 2 different dot cases, this is one of them here, and because there are only 2 of them, they're going to be really easily to recognize. Another great example of this that's even more distinguishable is the classic H case, and it looks just like it sounds. It looks like an H, and because of this, it is incredibly easy to recognize. So now that you've gone through and looked at all of those patterns without even looking at the algorithms and just determined which ones are going to be easy to recognize or are quote-unquote easily distinguishable from others, you're going to push those cases to the side. We're going to save those for later. And now you're just going to look at the algorithms. You're just going to grab a solved cube with the solved yellow side, and you're going to just kind of finger through some of those algorithms and see which ones are going to be really easy to learn. A great example of this is this case right here. It has a little yellow hook in the top left corner with a little yellow bar right here, or at least that's how I recognize it. Now, the case isn't necessarily the easiest one to recognize. It's not hard, but it's not easy. The algorithm is incredibly easy. It's just an F, an RU, R prime, U prime twice, and an F prime. The algorithm is incredibly easy to memorize. Another great example of this is this case right here. You got the little headlights on each side with the yellow cross, and this one's pretty similar to the last, just an F, and then an RU, R prime, U prime, 3 times over, and an F prime. So for these kind of cases, you're looking for cases where the algorithm is really easy to figure through, or it will be very easy to memorize. So now that you've gone through all of those algorithms and you've picked out ones that maybe have easy patterns or maybe have really easy algorithms, this is your easy section. These are the algorithms that you're going to learn first before you even think about learning any of those harder ones. So once you've gone through there and learned some of those easier OLL algorithms, you can give yourself a little pat on the back because you probably already know 10 to 15, maybe even more OLL algorithms, which is a really good start. Now unfortunately, we have to move into some of those slightly more difficult cases, but in reality, they're not that difficult if you just know what to look for. Now most of these medium cases are going to be the ones where there are just a lot of other cases that are, relatively speaking, pretty similar to that. A great example is the L cases, or the little hook in the corner, if you will. If you look at them from an aerial point of view or vertically down, they will look the exact same. There are 6 of them that would look the exact same. But their edges and corners do vary. So once you're able to realize, like, okay, this is the L shape that has the little bar right here, if I put it in the top left corner, you'll be surprised how fast you will be able to distinguish them from each other. And from there, it's just a matter of drilling down those algorithms. And this reminds me of probably the hardest part of learning full OLL that I haven't even mentioned yet, is actually learning the algorithms. Sure, distinguishing patterns from one another can be difficult, but even harder than that is learning the algorithm. Probably the best tip that I can give you guys to help learn those algorithms fast and efficiently is to have muscle memory for them. And the only way that you can develop that is repetition. Because in the middle of a speed solve, you don't want to just have to pause and go, okay, hook in the top left, bar here, bar here. That means that we have to do this algorithm to solve that case. That's really not ideal. You want to be able to let your brain associate the moves that you're doing with the pattern that it's for. And the only way to do that is just do it over and over and over again, which might get a little bit boring and ironically repetitive. But if you really want to get those muscle memories down and you want them to be effective in your speed solves, it's what you gotta do. So once you've found all of those cases that have a lot of other cases that are really similar to them, you're going to want to look at each individual case and see what features make it distinguishable from the other cases that are just like it. For this case, which we've been using a lot recently, you would see, okay, well, it has the hook. That's just like all the other ones, so that doesn't help you. But then the next thing you would probably see is, okay, if I put it in the top left corner, I have a bar right here and a long 3-bar right here. So just by doing that, you're going to be able to recognize cases from each other. And then from there, it's just a matter of learning the algorithms for them. So once you've learned to distinguish some of those really similar cases from each other and you've started to learn those algorithms, congrats, you're pretty much there. But unfortunately, you have a few more OLL cases that are going to be a serious pain. And these cases, as I'm sure you can already see, are very, very awkward. Thus, the official name for these 4 cases sitting in front of me, the awkward cases. Now, the awkward cases, the best way that you can actually learn them is to be able to see what's similar between them and then discover the differences that they have. And so we'll start with these ones where if you put the little hook facing that top left corner, you'll end up with the piece facing down here. Because with these ones, if you put the hook in the top left corner, you'll end up with that extra piece facing over there. So for these ones with the hook in the top left corner and the piece down here, you'll notice on their side that one has a bar and the other one doesn't. And that's really the fastest way and probably the only way to be able to distinguish these 2 cases from each other. The last 2 cases, if you put them facing the upper left corner, you'll have that extra piece over here with that random corner piece in the bottom. And the very simple thing that you're going to notice between them is you'll have a little bar here, or you won't. And that's really the only way to distinguish these 2 cases from each other. So once you've learned those last few awkward cases and maybe just a few other random straggler cases that go along with them, then the hope is that you would have learned full OLL. Hopefully this video helped you in some way, shape, or form, and if it did help you to learn OLL, a like would be very much appreciated. So other than that, I will see you later. Bye.